What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach, and in today's video we're answering the question of how to save off frames from a video into a different, into a folder using Python OpenCV. So essentially, in my last video, which I'll link up here above, we went and created basically a script that can play a video using OpenCV. And what I want to get out of this video too is how to take existing code and modify it in a way that it benefits additional needs. So for our example, we're going to take this code, and I'll explain what's going on here, but we're essentially going to modify it so that we can basically save out all of the frames from that video into a desired folder location. So without further ado, let's hop right in and start coding. So to be able to use this code and use it how we want to and modify it so we can save out our frames, what we need to do is two things. First, we need to be able to import the modules that are needed. Now we can see right here that we need OpenCV, and so to import or to use OpenCV, we have to install it. Now, I highly recommend that if you have a virtual environment or that you use it. Otherwise, we need to create one. So essentially to create one, you can use this command Python -m and then do venv and then type in the name of the virtual environment. Like I had biz_env, but since I already have that, I'm not going to create another one, but that's just the command that you can use. Once that command is created, you want to activate it, and you can tell that it's activated by usually it'll be like some parenthesis of the name that you specified, either before in your terminal or above the line that you're on in your terminal. So to activate it, you're going to do source and then the name that you did. So like in my case, it was biz env, and then you'll do, and if you're on a Mac and Linux, you'll do bin. If you're on Windows, you'll do scripts, but with a capital S, and then you'll do activate. Activate. Oh, but you have to make sure that you actually put it in the right folder. Like my actual location of this is up one directory. So if I do biz, there it is. I can do bin and then activate, just like that. And then I activate it. And since mine's activated, I don't really need to run this command, but that's just how you do it. And then what we need to do is go install Python OpenCV. So we're just going to say pip install OpenCV-Python. And if I run this right here, essentially you'll see that it says it's already, like I already have it. And so no need for me to install it because it's already there in my virtual environment. And then once all those have been ran, we are up and running. We can run it. The only thing you need to do is make sure that this import CV2 is there, which we have in our script. And so from that, we are all set up to take this code and run it, and then we will modify it so that it can accept in a location for where we want our files or our frames to be outputted to, and then we'll modify the code so that it will output all those frames. All right, so with all of that set up, let's do our first objective to make sure that this code actually runs. Like when you're testing new code, it's good to verify that what you're doing, or when you have it all set up, that it actually runs how you think it should run. So in our case, this should take in this this video file, which is one of my Python shorts that I have, where it's talking about comparing floats, and it should display it. Now again, like I mentioned in my previous video that I linked to earlier, that when you run with OpenCV these video captures, it does not display audio. It only displays the actual video frame. So when we run this video, so if I come down here and do Python and then how to save video frames and run this, we should only see a video pop up that is displaying just the video, which there's our short right here, and this does not have any audio. And we can see that this is running, and based on what this script says over here, if I come down here, essentially, if I hit the Q, which we'll move this over here, if I hit Q while this is activated or selected, or I click on it and then hit Q, it should quit that frame. So now we know that this code works. It is running how we want. So that is the first objective. The second objective would be then to take in an input, so that way we can have a location of where we want our frames to import or to be saved to. So let's do that now. So I can essentially do that by coming up to the very top, and we can say output dir is equal to, and then we'll need to import OS for this. So we'll say import OS, and then we can say, what I like to do is basically do two things. So I want to say, I'm going to take this as an input as a command line argument. So I'm going to say os.sys.rgv and then 1, since this will be the first command line argument, because 0 is this, and then we'll put another file location right there. And then when I have that, I want to make sure that we get the absolute like it's an absolute path, and then we want to verify that or we want to essentially create that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to say output dir is equal to os.path .abs path. And now this would convert whatever path we give it into an absolute path. So output dir. And then from here, what I can do is now that we have the absolute path, we need to go ahead and create that file location. So we can say if not os.path.exists and our output directory. So what this is saying is if this output directory does not exist, we're going to create it. And we're going to say os.make dirs, and then we will pass in our output dir. So even if you pass it a file location that does not exist, this will go ahead and create it. Now, you could get away with this by taking this line away, and you could do something where it looks like this. And I can say exists okay is equal to true. And what this will do is this will always just run it and or try to create the output path. And if it's already there, it's just going to say it's okay that it's already there. We'll just still try and create it, right? Otherwise, if you did this without this exists okay being true, because I think it's set by default to false, this will throw an error if it's already there. So there's two ways that you can do it. We'll go with this way for now. And then if you don't want to do this, you can essentially just put that back in and indent that in. All right, so we are now set up to test to make sure that we can get this. So we'll just go down here and say print output dir, and I'll put this in an F string actually. That way we can see. And then equals, and then we'll do this, just like that. All right, so what I like to do when I modify code, because that's another part of this video that I want to teach, is when I'm updating code, I like to put in spots so that like I don't have to go through everything and I know that this works. I'm just going to say, for now, I'm going to do os.sys.exit and then just put in a 1. Just to let it know that it's going to exit after I test all this. So that way, the part that I'm putting in, I'm actually testing it out and I don't have to go through everything else, right? So if I go ahead and run this, let's first come up here and I'm going to pull this up a little bit. And I'm going to do an ls in my terminal. It's going to list all of the files and directories that are in here. And you can see like, hey, here's a bunch of different stuff. Here's all the different files. And there's our video file that's in there, which is why we can do that. But there's no folder. So essentially, if I say run this command and I say /, which means I'm going to pass it in saying I want to put a folder. So I'm going to say video frames or say test frames right here. What this will do is when this runs, you should see that when we come back here and run this, it should exit and then we should hit ls in our terminal and we should see now there's a test frames in this folder. So we'll go ahead and run that. And now printed out, here is the full path to where we have our test frames. And now if I hit ls, you see that, hey, look, there is test frames, just like that. So we know that this whole of reading in an output directory, creating the directory, is and going from there works. And I can run that again to show how, if it's already there, what happens. And we run it again and we see that, hey, look, there it is. And if I do ls again, test frames is there, and there was no error thrown because this was already there. So we know that that part is working. Let's now move on to modifying the rest of this code so it saves out each and every one of the frames to our test frames folder. All right, so now we're going to add in that basically of the saving off of each and every individual frame, right? So there's a couple things here. Well, in this original script, we know that this line right here will read in the frame, but we'll also get a flag telling us whether or not it was successful reading it in. Now, ideally, what this means is when you're reading in a file from a video, the success thing will turn false when it hits the end of the video and there's no actual frame to get back, right? And so when we do that, we then break out of this while loop, because if we didn't, it would be an infinite loop and we'd just sit there and run until forever, right? And so basically we just do a check right here, and then right here is where we show each and every frame, and then we have this like wait 1 millisecond and then check whether or not someone hits the Q key and exit if that happens, right? Well, we don't need this, right? Because what we're trying to do is essentially save out the frame. And so how do we do that? Well, essentially we can comment all of this out or delete it. For now, I'll just comment it out, and then we'll just say we want to say cv2.imWrite, and then what we want to do is we need to give it the name of the frame as well as the actual frame to save out, right? So if we just gave it the name of the frame, so if I just say like, I don't know, 1.png, right? And then I passed in this frame, what would happen is that I would always just overwrite that 1 and with the latest frame. So by the time we got to test frames, there would only be 1 image in there when the script is done running, and it would just be 1.png. And that's not necessarily what we want, right? So to counter that, what we're going to do is we're going to make a counter variable. So we're going to say count is equal to 0. And then every time we write into a frame, we're going to update our count variable. Count is equal to, or we'll say plus equals 1, right? Now what we can do is make this an F string, and then we can say frame underscore, and then I can put in the actual count variable right here. And just like that, now what's going to happen is it's going to, every time it goes through that loop and we get a successful frame and we write it, it's going to say frame underscore 0.png, frame underscore 1.png. And it's going to basically allow us to have multiple of those frames saved. But here's the caveat. When we save this, we're just saving this to wherever we're running this, right? So if I ran this now, what's going to happen is I would fill this current directory, my OpenCV directory down here, where I'm running this script, full of frames. And we don't want that, right? We want it to be this output directory. So how do we do that? Well, essentially, we can say save path, save path is equal to os.path.join. And we can say our output directory. And then we can take this line of code right here and cut it out and put it right there and then pass in our save path. Now what this will do is this will create a complete path that we want to save to. So that should say, if we come back up here, we should say, like when we printed this output dir right here down below, and we have this whole thing. All this is going to do, this os.path.join, is tack on a / and then frame underscore and then whatever count.png. And just like that, we should be able to save all of our frames to our test folder, right? And then what's going to happen is this is going to loop through. Once we hit the no success flag, it's going to break out. And then we'll come down here, release our video capture, and destroy all windows. But since we're not going to display any, it shouldn't really, there's nothing that should essentially pop up, right? So from here, we should be able to run it. The only thing we need to do is go back up here and remove our, exit command that kind of early terminated the program so that we can run through this whole thing. So barring that this all works, by the end of this run right here, so if I come down here and I run this command, how to save frames in video file in OpenCV Python.py /test frames, we should have a bunch of frames in this video frame. So let's go ahead and run this. And it's running, and then we'll see what happens when it finishes. All right, so that finished, and that took a little bit, right? If you ran yours, you probably saw that it took a little bit to run, and that's because if we go in here and I do ls and do /test frames, you'll see that, wow, it popped out a lot of video frames, right? Well, is there a way that we can know or expect how many frames we're gonna get, right? Well, there actually is. So OpenCV, if I come down here and I come right, ideally you want this to be open, I can show or I can test about how many frames I should print out, right? So we can say that we can do CV, or we can say num expected number of frames is equal to the int value of cv2 dot get cv2 dot cap underscore prop frame count. There it is. All right. So this should essentially give us our expected frame count from this video. And we can do a little math in here to test whether or not this is actually true. So my video that I have is about 49 seconds, or that's what it says, like when you look up the information. So we can say, there's also another one of these cap values where you can say FPS is equal to, and I can say cv2 dot get, and then cv2 dot cap underscore prop underscore FES. And this will basically, what this is doing is this is getting a property from the actual video frame, and then this get thing is just how you can get those. So if I have the expected number of frames and the FPS and the frames per second of our current video, we can essentially say that the duration is equal to the frame count or expected frame count, number of frames divided by our FES, right? And then we can go ahead and print this all out. So we can say print, and I can say an F string here, and we'll do expected frames, or expected frame number of frames. Make a little space here, FPS is equal to this, and then I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then duration is equal to this. All right, so what I'll come in here now and I'll do the os.exit, sys.exit 1. And so if I run this, what we should see is we basically should get out and see how many frames we have, because if I come over here into my VS Code terminal and I do this test frames, and where did that go? If I do test frames right here and expand it down, what you'll see is I get about, come back up here, it says I have about 2,959 frames that we actually saved out from my little 49-second video, right? So we'll go scroll all the way back up here. We'll close this, and then we'll close that. So we'll go ahead and rerun this. and this should exit. Oh, so not CV. I messed this up. This is we have our video file, and we need to get the information from the video file, not from CV2. Yeah, we have to actually have the video object, right? So that's why we got that error of, CV2 has no attribute get, is because we need to, the video object that we have, we need to use that to get the information, or to get this specific information, because we can't just randomly pull that out of nowhere. We have to pull it from the actual object. So if we rerun that, we see that we have about 2,960, but if you notice, our expected file count, or the number of files that we had, ended at 2,959. Well, it's because we start count at 0. If we started count at 1, we would get frames 1 through 2,960, but since we went 0 based, that's why we get 0 to 2,959, right? So there's just a little that's why that's off, right? And we don't have a frame of 2,960. Is because we started at index 0 rather than a 1. And then we see our frames per second for this video is a 60s. The FPS for it was 60, and then the duration is 49.33336. Which, if you look at the properties of the video, it shows it as mine is just being 49. So that's just above 49 seconds. So that all tracks, right? So from there, we essentially have, I'll comment that out and you can then use this. So now you can use this information to evaluate what you expect it to be. And so like you could do something here where you put this at a 1 for your count. And then you could do some if statements and just check that if success, we could do something where we say that count, you could print something out and say if count is equal to the expected number of frames, then print out got all frames or something like that. So you could even just say, you could put this if statement here and say, if the count is equal to the expected number of frames, then exit, right? Or you'd probably want to put that down here to make sure that it did save everything out correctly. So that is essentially how you can take, or how you can save out frames from a video, and you can save them out and save them to your directory and convert basically a video to just essentially a set of frames. And then if you don't want all of those frames, you could do something in here to do an if statement that says, hey, if the count is, say you want every 100 frames, basically you could do something where I could say if count modular 100 is equal to 0, meaning if it's divisible by 100, so every 100 frames, then I could, basically save this and then move that in. We still want our count to come out because we need it to update every single time. But we could then just say, yeah, if every 100 frames, save off what I want, or every 10 frames, or every 1,000 frames, or whatever, you could save. If you didn't want every single frame, right? Because you might not need every single frame from your video. Maybe you only need out of that whole video, maybe you only need every 1,000 frames. Maybe you have a super long video and you only need ideally 1,000 frames or 1,000 images from it, rather than the say 10,000 that it spits out, right? So those are just some tricks that you can do. But essentially, that's how you can take or save frames from a video and convert your video to a set of images. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment below. And this is also a good example of how to take existing code and convert it to what you need, right? Because there's a lot of code out there on the internet and that you'll find out on YouTube where people are doing different things. And this is, I wanted this to be an example of how you can utilize existing code and then just do some tweaks. Like we found that, hey, we don't need to display it. We just need to get rid of it, and we just want to save it. So I'll remove this and then add in, say, the lines of code that I actually need. And so that is one thing that you'll need to learn as you go throughout your programming journey, is learn how to figure out and take existing code and tweak it and modify it to fit your needs, because there's a lot of things that are already out there and people have already done. And if you can get away and don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel, it's nice to do, right? And so we just need to get in the habit of being able to read code, figure out what it's doing, and then when we know what it's doing, how to insert the parts that we want or inject the parts that we want, so that way we can still leverage that code to the best of our abilities to accomplish the things that we want to do. So I hope that you found that useful. If you want any other videos, leave a comment below of the type of video or any explanations that you maybe didn't get here that would be helpful, and I'll do my best to answer those. And until next time, keep on programming.